Where are we in terms of like the American style versus the Russian, Georgian style in terms of who's the best?
Definitely the Dagestanian. It's all of them. You can't just take our normal wrestling and just throw it into a cage when there's three other sports put into it. They got it down to a point, and now I think that's why they're so good at it. I want to be able to fight in the UFC, but it all comes down to how my body is after all this wrestling. I'm top on my list.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to one of the most talented wrestlers in the country, Tahir Parkins. How's it going, man? And first up, how did you get into this sport? How did you know this was for you?
Uh, Back in the day when I was little, my best friend, my neighbor, he actually got me into it. He was wrestling, and I would always see him going to practice and stuff. So I just asked him if I could. I asked him like what he was doing. He said he was doing wrestling, and I brought it up to my dad once, and he said, yeah, I used to wrestle when I was little too, and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to do it. I want to do it. It'll be fun to do. And the first thing I asked was, do you win trophies? And he was like, yeah, you can win a lot of trophies. So that day right there when he said that, I was ready to go.
Do you think wrestlers are built different? I've tried it a couple times. One of the hardest things I've ever done.
Uh, I do believe wrestlers are built different. The mentality of wrestling, any combat sport, wrestling, boxing, MMA, all those sports are just, you got to have a different type of mentality to be able to just keep doing it, withstanding the constant like pain and you're just tearing your body, the wear and tear. But there's that end goal of just achieving your dream of winning the biggest things across the country, across the world, that just keep driving you and motivating you.
Why do you love it? Because it is so hard, and what keeps driving you to work hard every day?
um I mean, I think everyone might say the same thing. I love to win. I mean, it's just, I want to be able to be the greatest wrestler of all time in foreign wrestling, at least. I mean, my high school is done, going off to college. I mean, if I can you know leave my mark on this sport when I'm hanging up my shoes and framing my last singlet for my last match. If I left my mark and everyone remembers my name here, that's the legacy I want to leave on this sport.
So, what was it like for you walking into Nazareth, already having a reputation as one of the top prospects in the country?
Um, I felt good coming in. I already knew I was feeling good. They had me ranked high, but when I first walked in the room and Coach Kroll actually didn't even know my name, that's when I realized it's a lot bigger than what you think. Like, you think you're this high of a level, you're this good, and then you go to the next level and no one even knows who you are. Like, you're just starting over again. So it it's a crazy jump. It's a hard step, but I'm ready to go.
With the pressure, the injuries, the risks involved in this sport, how important has family been for you in the journey?
It's been big. My dad, he supports me a lot. It costs time and money, especially for a sport like this. There's constant injuries and recovering PT and stuff like that. But I also got to give a shout out to my team. I mean, their families and all the kids on the team have helped me and helped me greatly amongst my journey here. And even outsiders, even like coaches, just giving me a little bit of knowledge and whatnot. But even like everyone around the sport brings it into like a family aspect, and it plays a big role. I mean, if doing it by yourself is a lot different than doing it with even one other person. It makes the journey a lot easier.
You had your pick of top programs, right? What made you choose Rutgers?
A few things. One, it's not too far from home, but it's not here. I didn't want to go to school anywhere in PA. I instantly crossed all of them off. That's no, I just didn't want to go to school here. I grew up here, so there's no need to stay around. It's time to branch out, see something new. But I went over there and I just like the energy of the coaching staff, the kids there. I walked in, everyone's saying what's up. They already knew my name before I even knew who they were. It just shows that like they cared before I was there. They showed that they cared, and the coaching staff is just great. I mean, they're telling me they got me in high school tournaments. They're texting me, calling me, asking me if I need help training, if I need this and that, and they're constantly just looking out. So I just love that atmosphere, and I love the coaches and the how it's like a family aspect there as well as it is back home here.
What can fans expect from you as a Scarlet Knight?
Some big things. I got you know everyone has a plan. Not all plans go according to plan, but I'm gonna try to stay sticked on to the plan I want and just try to reach to be a four-time national champ. If I can get an Olympic medal while I'm still in college, enrolled in school, I want to be able to leave the legacy of the best Scarlet Knight wrestler ever. And if I could do that, I'll feel really good.
Your match with CJ Composto turned a lot of heads. He's a two-time NCAA All-American. How much did that win mean to you?
Um, well, at first I didn't even know who he was. I'm not big on reading names and watching matches. You can ask a lot of my friends and people around me. They'll ask me about a kid. I'm like, I don't really know who that is, and stuff like that. But after the match, Cruz came up to me. He's like, you just beat a NCAA All American. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. I was like, that it just makes you feel pretty good. I mean, the high school to college jump is always big, but knowing that I can beat top guys that are placing top eight at the hardest tournament in college is, it just gives you a confidence boost.
It can be a cliche, but I think it rings very true. People say win or learn. What did you take away from the loss to Sergio Vega?
Um, so both losses. The first loss was a lot more disappointing. I definitely felt like I trained an immense amount for that tournament. I really wanted that belt, and I ended up taking a loss. And before I went, I got some injuries I shouldn't have got, but you could never use that as an excuse. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do, and he came out on top. But the second time I wrestled him, it's still disappointing. No one ever wants to lose, but I think I got to the point where I was burnt out. I mean, I was trying, from sophomore year all the way to senior year, I'm practicing training every day. I want to, you really want to go to school. I want to be able to pick whatever school I want to go to, just be able to, just go wherever. And I think I was pushing myself a little too hard. Like I was, training every day, eating right. I was, doing extra workouts, all that stuff. And I think it got to the point where I was there, but like I just wasn't there. Like I was just out. I was kind of just like a floatless body. I mean, my mind wasn't there, but I was out there wrestling, and I think even though I lost that match, I ended up taking a break for like almost 2 months, and I think that's the reason why I performed so well at U23. Just getting my mind away from the sport a little bit, letting my body rest, train or rest and heal up. A lot of injuries come into play, like I was talking about, and I think it's important to just take a break sometimes and step away. So I think that second one, it hurt a little bit, but it was just telling me it's just take a break. Like you're pushing yourself to your limit right here. So you don't wanna overdo it and burn yourself out.
Yeah, those under 23 nationals, you lost early and then went on a tear, winning five straight to reach the fifth place bout, right? So, what clicked for you?
So I went out there on a 2 week notice actually. So I had 2 weeks to train, and because this was right after my break, and I knew it was gonna be tough. I knew everybody's gonna be good. And I went out there, and I got that first match done under the belt, but I still wasn't like not. I just didn't even know what was going on. I was just wrestling really slow. I don't think I was doing very much of what I would normally do. And then after that, I just clicked. I was like, all right, I'm ready to go now. So then after that, I turned it up. And last year, actually in Vegas, I ended up losing the round before the blood rounds. And that I just told myself I couldn't do that again. I got to get a medal this time. So after that loss, I was locked in. I was ready to go. And a big part of that too was also like the teammates and the staff too. They were, they see me lose and they came up to me. They're like, "It's all right." I mean, a lot of my teammates lost first, second round, and they're like, "It's all good. You can still battle it back and wrestle." So, I took their advice and I just let it fly the rest of the tournament.
You beat Eren Sement last year to win the Beast to the East title. What did that one mean to you, and what's the dynamic like with him?
Uh, so me and Eden go way back. Like we were little. Always a great match. He's a great kid. Um, but that was big because I was in the Beast finals my freshman year, and is I was cutting too much weight, did everything. I was doing everything wrong, and I went out there. I ended up getting pinned, and winning that year, it felt good because the year before I was so close. I lost Jaden James 3-2, and it was just disappointing. And I went out there and I finally got it done. It's like a mission. You just keep failing, and then you finally get to complete it. It is, you feel good about yourself. So that one meant a lot to me.
Bo Bassett spoken pretty highly of you, calls you a good friend. What's the relationship like with him? How did you guys kind of bond?
Uh, Me and Bo started another one started way back in the day when we were little. Used to wrestle all the time. Another tough opponent. Always wanted to wrestle no matter what, not backing down from anybody. And we did. When you wrestle other good people, you end up clicking. It doesn't matter how tough the match is. It's just like you appreciate the hard work they're willing to put in and the drive they have too. And I think we saw that in each other, and we ended up, we train. He lives far away from me. It's like 4.5 hours, so we don't get to train often. But we've been on a few teams, and I have trained with him and spent some time with him. And he's a really cool kid, and I think he's the same as any other kid that's on the path of me right now, and they just want to shoot to be, the best that they can be, the greatest they can shoot to. So I really like that motivation he has, and it kind of makes me want to do better because I see him. He's one of my boys. I see him winning and doing what he's doing. I want to be able to be on the same path as him and do the same thing. And even if we see each other, whatever match, I mean, during that 7 to 10 minutes we're not friends, but off that mat, it's gonna be, you're my boy. That was a great match, and we're just gonna keep moving on in life, no matter what it is.
Some people were shocked he decommitted from Iowa. Did you see that coming? What do you think's next for him?
Um, I didn't see it coming. I always knew Iowa was his dream school. I mean, it was the biggest flag in his room when I used to go there. He had every flag, and I was posted up on the back of his bed banister, biggest one. But I was kind of surprised, but it's not my choice. I mean, things happen, and I'm not gonna say any of who's right, who's wrong. And I mean, he's still young, he still has another year of high school, so it's his choice. I mean, he's gonna do what he was gonna do regardless. At any school, it doesn't matter what school he goes to. So I think people are making a lot bigger than what it needs to be, especially for a high school kid. And I mean, in a way, I don't think that's right. But the people are gonna say whatever they want to say. But me personally, I think he will do whatever he was gonna do anyways at whatever school he goes to. So I just wish him the best, and wherever he goes, hope he has a fun time and a good ride there.
There's speculation that he might land at Oklahoma State, especially with Jax Forrest committing under David Taylor. Is that a good fit for him, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, they kind of got that little country style. They live out in a little, kind of like countryside town. It's far, a lot of farmland stuff like that, and they're big with that stuff over there in Oklahoma. So, and Jackson, them are boys, and I mean, the reason I went to Rutgers is I got a lot of friends there. I mean, if he got a lot of friends he likes, people he likes, and it works out. It works out a lot. So maybe he will, maybe he won't. It's just whatever he feels like doing. So I could say I would say yeah, I think he would fit in, but we'll never know until he's there.
Wrestling can be an unbelievable base for other things in the future. We've seen Gable Steveson look towards MMA, Mason Paris towards the NFL. What are you passionate about in that sense? Do you see yourself progressing to other sports?
Uh, I've talked about this a lot. I've told my dad too. I really do want to do MMA. I want to be able to fight in the UFC, but it all comes down to you know how my body is after all this wrestling. I mean, it is really a draining sport, and a lot of injuries happen. And I started putting my health first a lot now. I mean, all those sports and wrestling is just a small part of your life. I still want to be able to, function and, a lot of brain stuff. So I want to be able to function and be able to do things that I could do every single day, always. So depending on my health, we'll see how that turns out. But MMA is top on my list.
We've seen, Bo Nickel before that, DC, Ben Askren. Who's the gold standard for you in terms of wrestlers who flourished in the UFC?
Uh, DC has to be one. DC has to be one, of course. He's legendary. I wrestled on a few of his teams back in the day too, and I went out to Gilroy, wrestled over there at his club a little bit. Um, I have to put him at one for sure. He's that dude, cool guy. I actually wrestled this kid at 232s. He came up to me, he was like, "Man, the arsenal is insane," and just getting a compliment like that from a guy of that caliber just feels good.
Awesome. Who do you like watching most?
Uh, I like honestly, I'm not someone that just like pick favorites. I like seeing people go out there and scrap every time. Like if we're fighting for a championship belt, I don't want to see no holding back. Even if you could lose the belt, I want to see everyone just going out and brawling. Throwing it, making it an event. I mean, you have people there too as well. So like it's yeah, you want to win yourself, but I don't want to be in the UFC and going out there and just, this is no a kind of a controversial thing. A lot of people are saying, "Bo, oh, all he can do is wrestle. It's boring to watch." But I want to see people just fighting the whole time and just, going out there and just giving everything they have until, either the bell stops and they're done, or someone gets TKO'd or KO'd. That's it. That's what I want to see. I love that though. I love the fight.
Obviously, your wrestling is the priority at the moment, but how are your hands? How's your jiu-jitsu? Have you trained at any top UFC kind of gyms or MMA gyms?
No, I never like actually like went to the gym. Me and my friends would mess around and do like jujitsu. When I was little, I used to actually box a little bit with my dad because he used to box back in the day. So like I could throw some hands if needed. If someone needs to throw down, I can hold my own for sure. But for now, we're just gonna stick to wrestling. That's what we got to do.
Um, what about American wrestling? Because the Dagestanis and even the Georgians, I feel like, are kind of on top. It would be great to see like young American wrestlers come and inject that into the UFC. I think. Where are we in terms of like the American style versus the Russian Georgian style in terms of who's the best?
So in the UFC, it is definitely the Dagestanian. It's all of them, just because it's a different kind of wrestling. People don't understand that it's you're not scoring points and like doing stuff like that. Like yeah, you get points for a takedown, but you still have to fight. You gotta know how to grapple, and people don't understand that you can't just take our normal wrestling and just throw it into a cage when there's three other sports put into it. Now you got like Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, all that stuff, and it's a completely different field. So like the UFC and wrestling or the wrestling in the UFC, the the Dagestanians they got it down to a point, and I think that's why they're so good at it.
Were you shocked by what happened in Ben Askren? He's just come out today and he's looking good. He got a lung transplant. He said he died 4 times, but thankfully he looks to be okay. Does that kind of serve as a reminder of how life is short? Because a guy who's been that tough his whole career and then bang, suddenly something can just take you down.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, one thing I've definitely learned that, especially in high school now, is like not taking anything for granted. I mean, you can be at the top of everything and just in a snap of a finger, just all falls. Like, and seeing that with Ben Askren, he was doing his stuff with UFC, and he was still, commentating with Flow and stuff like that. And just one night, something so simple that if he just went to the doctors one day and got it checked out, it could have been fixed. But it can just change your life in an instant. So, I mean, I'm praying for him. I mean, he's looking good. He's still got to, do his recovery now. That's probably honestly the hardest part, but I mean, he did the fighting when he was sleeping, and now He's got to fight when he's awake, and I'm praying for him. And I wish him the best of luck in everything he's doing. He's a great face of the sport. So
How do you think Gable Stevenson's going to do in MMA? Is he an inspiration? I mean, what he achieved in the sport's unbelievable. I remember when he wrestled Ben not so long ago and just dominated. I mean,
yeah,
he's amazing.
he's a he's a freak athlete. I'll give you that. He is a freak athlete. But like I said, MMA it's a whole nother world of combat sports. It's a mix of everything. Do I think he can do well under the right training? 100%, just because of the way how he is as an athlete. But it's hard to say especially at like a heavyweight. Everyone has power. Everyone has power at heavyweight. Get clipped one time and you can go down. But I think with the right training, which I think he'll do, and all that right team and stuff, I think he could perform really well in the UFC.
Who's the main man at NCAA level for you?
Main man, like right now. Oh no, oh no. I mean, I would have to say, I'd say, uh, Mendez for sure. Mendez has been on a tear. He and I've rolled around him personally with him and Sammy up at our room. Sammy's from where I'm from, and he comes up. Sometimes he'll bring some of them, but he's like the guy you want to be able to compete at his level to always do what he does. Another one he's done now is Carr. Carr was probably my favorite college wrestler. I mean, I love his style. Love the way that he always, he'll take a loss, but when it matters, when he's in the NCAA finals and it matters, he's always dogging out for that win. He's always looking for it, and that people that wrestle like that. I mean, Mendez was a great example this year. I mean, just went on a tear and came back, won that match. That's hard to do and it's hard to beat, and not many people, even good guys, when they're down like that, they start to break a little bit. They just keep going.
Have you got any goals for the year that you'd be up for sharing?
This year, I I'm gonna red shirt for sure. I want to get a little. I want to get healthier. Stronger. Uh, add some things to my arsenal. Some new stuff to use. Going to a new level. Same old things aren't gonna work. Um, but I want to do senior worlds next year. Give that an attempt. See how I do. And after that, whatever happens there, if I win it, go on, do Final X, whatnot. If I end up not winning, I'll go out to U23s again and see how I perform there. Those are my goals for the year.
The joke is, everyone always says go 2-3 years to Dagestan and forget. Have you ever thought about going over there for a few weeks just to pick up some tricks?
I actually, well, I would love to go to any other country to train with some of their guys, just because you get a different feel, different style. All of them are different. Uh, everyone does something different that they get down really good, and they all have nice, unique tips and tricks. So it is something I've thought about. Not obviously not 2 3 years, maybe just like a month or two, but stuff like that. It's actually funny you said that. The other day we were at a room, we were training with some of the guys. I was like, forget 2 3 years in Dagestan, 2 3 years at TIG practice, and I was saying that. So, but yeah, it would be fun to go over to a foreign country and get to train with some of those guys.
Do you have any training tip that anyone gave you over the years? Anything to do with strength, conditioning, recovery that you would share with our audience that just helped you out over the years?
Make sure you're eating right. That's actually something a lot of people slack on. Eating really good, it flies over a lot of people's heads, but it is like getting the right nutrients, right vitamins, all that. It really does help your body. Another thing, taking the right rest. I mean, I know everyone wants to train as hard as possible and get as much training sessions, but if you're training every day for 2 months and in those 2 months you're doing 3 practices, your body's gonna start getting tired, start cutting it down. Maybe one or two. You don't want to start because your body can only hold up so much before it starts breaking down. So definitely knowing when to start, calming down and knowing when to pick it up for certain tournaments and duels, whatever you got to do. And lastly, just being able to flow and wrestle with everyone. Like I know I personally have a partner I practice with every day, but there's always a bunch of guys at the room, and me and him would train, and then I'll go, go find another partner, and I'll roll around with them a little bit just to get a different feel. People get too used to wrestling the same, same person. They do it every day, every day, every day. Then one match, they'll get someone that does something so different that it's hard to wrestle them. So I think wrestling other people, it doesn't matter who it is, just, get a different feel. Even if the gap is bigger, it teaches you how to, control weight sometimes, control movement, stuff like that. So I think wrestling other people at practice is a good thing to do.
Good advice, man. We're going to be watching your career. I hope we get to catch up again later in your career. Maximum respect, wishing you all the best. And yeah, it would be very cool to see you in the UFC one day as well.
It'll be fun. It'll be great.
But till then, lots to do. All the best with everything, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for having me.